Hi everyone, today we are talking about cryptozoology and books within the topic that I highly recommend. When I was a kid, I wanted so bad to be a cryptozoologist as a career. My cryptid that I really think is real is the Thunderbird. I also really like a few other cryptids, so let's just get right into it. My first book that I have to recommend on the topic of cryptozoology has to be Cryptid Creatures, a Field Guide. It has creatures such as the New Jersey Devil, Mothman, Mermaid, Chupacabra, Champ, Bigfoot, Hellhound, and a few others that I did not hear about ever. It also has a lot more in the book, as well as illustrations and information about sightings and what the creature might look like and where it might live. Do I think that a lot of the creatures might be real? Not really, but I still think it's really cool to talk about cryptozoology because a lot of animals start out as cryptids, and then when they are discovered, then they are considered a real species. Like, for example, the okapi was a cryptid. I think the panda was also a cryptid for a long time as well. And then once they're finally found, people are like, oh, it is real. We thought it was fictional. Plus, it's just really fun to think about what can or cannot exist in our forests, deserts, oceans. I mean, come on, the Kraken is definitely real. But I like this book because of the factoids and sighting information, as well as the illustrations. I hate when cryptozoology books don't show the creature. Like, how am I supposed to know if I ever see it if I don't know what it looks like? Next up, I have the Mythical Creatures Bible and monsters and mythical creatures from around the world, because although these books are, I'd say, mainly mythical creatures, I think really anything could be a cryptid. I mean, mermaids, sirens, they are mythical creatures, but they're also technically cryptids because people still claim to see them. So if you are really interested in learning about some new creatures that you might not have heard of, then I definitely recommend the Mythical Creatures Bible as well as Monsters and Mythical Creatures from Around the World. I said in one of my last videos that Monsters and Mythical Creatures isn't one of my favorite books, but I still recommend it because it is organized based off a continent, and I think that's really useful. It also has a lot of illustrations. Next up, I have Seafaring Lore and Legend. I mentioned this in my mermaid video. I recommend Seafaring Lore and Legend because the ocean is giant. It is a huge place. Most of it has not been explored yet. So there definitely is possibility that things like mermaids might be real, or even the Kraken, or possibly the Loch Ness Monster. Although I think that mermaids, sirens, harpies, it's like, from mythology, I definitely do think that mermaids can be real. So can harpies. Like, it might sound very far-fetched to think that a harpy would be real, or even a mermaid, like, it's a sea person or a bird person. However, birds that we have, like the macaw or even any other parrot really, they could talk like a person. I don't think it's really that crazy to think that a harpy, a bird that kind of looks like a person and can talk like a person, may exist. Also, with mermaids, I don't really think that's kind of far-fetched either. Like, it does sound like it, but we also have no clue what's really in our oceans. And some people on YouTube have posted some pretty, good footage of mermaids they have seen. Like, I'm really skeptical when it comes to videos and photos, but some stuff genuinely looks really real. My favorite cryptid to exist, which I say exists because I know for a fact this thing must be real, is the Thunderbird. About 8 years ago, almost a decade ago, I saw a Thunderbird. I'm not even joking. I think I saw one. It was flying really high up in the sky. Its wingspan must have been at least 20 feet. It had a really long body on it. It flew very slowly. It flapped its wings very slowly. And when I saw this bird, I genuinely thought it was a pterodactyl because I had no clue what this was. And there actually is 2 books I have to mention about this. So obviously, Thunderbirds, America's Living Legends of Giant Birds, as well as Live Pterosaurs in America. I would say a pterosaur is probably I guess what I saw, but I don't remember seeing a tail on it. However, the Thunderbird book that I have is so good. Not only do they talk about sightings, but also how this bird must live, where it flies to, any theories and information that is on this bird this book probably has. Like, it's really in-depth. I really like it. Whoever wrote this book really, really loves this bird, obviously, and I don't blame them. Because ever since I saw that Thunderbird, I've been hoping to see one again. Like, I've literally went days where I planned on just staring at the sky and looking to hopefully see one again, and it has not happened. People might say, well, if the bird is real, why don't we see it more often? Because they're so large. And I get that totally, but like, I literally live in an area where eagles also live, and although eagles are not really that rare depending on the species, I probably only see them like twice a year, even though they literally live in my nearby forests. So if I could see an eagle maybe twice a year, maybe 3 times a year, and they are a very common bird, then it would make sense to why we only see thunderbirds like very, very rarely. Obviously, you could say it's probably a condor, but the bird that I saw, it was so huge and it flapped its wings so slowly. So maybe it's a thunderbird, maybe it's a pterosaur, we'll never know. I saw somebody on a video comment one time how even if these birds are real, it's better off they stay not found. It's better off they stay as cryptids, because the second people realize a creature is real, they want to hunt the bird, they want to sell it in some way, and that's really, really sad. I mean, imagine if, like, tomorrow there's a huge news announcement that mermaids are actually real. I guarantee you people would be going into the oceans to try and find them and then sell their tails or do something with them. It would just be really, really sad. But yeah, this is my very, very small cryptozoology collection. There definitely is a bunch more books I could probably include, but I only mentioned books that I have in my possession because I can't really recommend a book if I haven't read it. But that is it. So in case if you are interested in subscribing, then please do that. And if you would like to support the channel in other ways, you could obviously donate to my PayPal or Cash App, and you could also check out my Amazon wishlist. I will see you guys next week. Bye!